Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name's Hiysta and thank you for stopping by today. In this episode we're going to be building an island for the Argentinosaurus. Now this dinosaur is absolutely humongous and I thought it would only be appropriate to give it the biggest island possible. But as always, it was almost like I placed them in there and they were just a little bit too big for their habitat. But I did make some adjustments later on in the actual build itself. Now moving on to actually the design as well. So again, there's some bridges in the game that you can use and I chose to kind of build a custom one this time, and it gave me the biggest headache possible. Like it was, I didn't just resize the bridge and kind of create like something different, but it completely malfunctioned. So it was almost like trying to bend and curve the shapes of normal like sizes. So instead of just stretching it, it was almost kind of tilting at an angle as well. And then after doing that, it was like it became a humongous object, even though the size of it was still kind of semi-small. And I noticed this when I had an issue when I let the guests come into the park, try to walk onto it, and they were floating about 10 foot in the air, and I was like, I can't work this out. So I had to put down a custom floor on top of it as well, and they follow it to a certain extent, and then they get to the bridge and they come to like an almost stop as well, and again they're kind of floating just as they're about to walk over it. It gave me like a massive headache trying to figure it out, and again because it was kind of building off the grid as well, it was almost impossible to get things to line up straight. So it was like the longer I was doing it and the further I was getting involved, it was like the bigger the hole was getting and the bigger the disaster was coming to. But I carried on doing it, I carried on having a crack, and I managed to kind of get it going in some way. So they managed to come up the stairs, but to get them to walk over it, I'm going to have to remove the floor or try and change the shape again and use maybe a square shape. So it's almost like when you're manipulating the shape, not just stretching it, it causes a few problems and the guests don't really know where the pathfinding is for that object. And also inside of where the island is, I found it a little bit difficult for the dinosaurs to traverse in certain areas. So again, these objects were giving off a much larger radius than they actually are. So these Argentinosauruses were walking about 2 foot and would stop and be like, I've got nowhere to go. So I had to again try to flatten some of the land, change it around just so they can walk all the way around. And now on the coming off the bridge, I was kind of, I wouldn't say I was winging it this time. I had a few ideas from Pinterest that I looked at. I've had like probably almost 2 weeks off playing from the last episode, which was pre-recorded. But yeah, I kind of was trying to look for something to build for this one, and again I didn't want to use the bridges in game. They are really good, but I just wanted to create something a little bit quirky again, something a little bit different, and just like something that's really kind of not sci-fi but just unique in its own way. So again, I was stretching these pillars to change the size, and I really liked the way it came out. I was like, oh, that's really good, I'll just try and copy and paste it over. And again, selecting the item because it's kind of manipulated was like just not happening, and I was like, no, this is not good, this can't be happening. But I did get round to it, I did manage to suss it out, and yeah, I did manage to get the bridge how I kind of wanted it. Now you will see in the episode as well, I kind of wanted to build like a tunnel for the staff and the scientists, etc., that don't exist in the game yet, but hopefully they will, and just to build a little entrance to come in and across. But they go through like a tunnel underwater. Obviously there's no water in the tunnel, so they go through the tunnel and they can get to the other side as well. But I kind of I placed down about 3 or 4 shops, I think it was, and I just changed the design a bit to make them look a bit more industrialized and more kind of like not very pretty. So it's just for the guests to have their main buildings and things, and they just go through like that. But as we know, the guests tend to do whatever they like. They are complete mavericks. They go wherever they want, walk wherever they want, and stand on whatever they like as well. So I was anticipating that they would just find their own way across, but again they don't. They just kind of like walk there and just ponder and just haven't even got to the main part which I was trying to build at the end. So as we go into the habitat after building the bridge, there are 3 circles inside, and these are viewing platforms. And to give a rough idea of the size I wanted, I used the binoculars, which is quite large actually compared to the guests. It's about exactly the same height as the guests. They'd have to stand on their tiptoes to use it, and you can't resize that either. But yeah, so I use that as an example for the height of the wall that I wanted around. So when I'm building it, you might look at it and think this, like, you know, you could probably climb over that, and logically you probably could, but you'd be an absolute crazy person to want to climb over into an Argentinosaurus habitat, because you'll be like a raisin to them. They'll be like eating you within a second. So I in the actual build, it doesn't look safe, but again, I think it's safe enough and it's okay for the guests. Again, the builds that I do try to do are not always 100% realism. They're more about just trying to push things and try different designs and that, and just trying to see what you can create within the game itself. Actually, the other difficult part I found as well is that once you've manipulated the structure and the buildings and you want to place something like a wall or maybe another block to use as a concrete cement part where it's going to be like a solid part of the structure, it can really lose its placement in the diagonal direction it's going in. So I would copy and paste something, I would drag it across, and it would be off by about maybe 1 or 2 degrees. And again, this was adding to the headache, and I was like, you can't be doing this to me, please just line up. And but again, you just have to take your time, you have to move it around and that, and eventually it lines up probably 99% in total. You'll see me in a minute as well kind of building the bridge for the or the tunnel, sorry, for the staff to go through, and the scientists and the dinosaur people to have a look and get across there. I haven't fully finished it on the inside, so they come across, and there's just like a gate there, and there's some wall and ground as well where they walk across. But again, I was just trying to figuring out how to put it through. I wanted it to have like a sort of connection, so you can see the bits in the middle where it looks like it's got some reinforcement as well. And when I was placing the shops, I don't think I actually recorded it, or I did record it and I was moving the camera, so I normally start and stop recording. I stopped the recording when I'm moving the camera and started recording again, and this time I've done the opposite, so I was moving the camera as I was kind of building, and then it just went to pot. Yeah, so I didn't add that in the actual video itself. As I was building the entrance as well for the staff to come through, I went large walls and I made it really small at the front. I thought that doesn't look right, that looks really weird, I'm just going to bin that off and change that again. So I did, and I used the fences in the game as a kind of barrier kind of to go through. They don't look 100% realistic. I could sit there and make complete custom entrance like fences for them, but again, that's down to time, and I don't have a lot of it at the moment, and I'm just trying to build when I've got a little few hours to myself and just crack on and just try and use the time as I can. Now I'll let you enjoy the rest of the video, and I will catch you after the cinematics. We'll go for a little walk through. Maybe you can spot some of the glitches that happen. The bridge disappears as well for a second, it just vanishes and it comes back depending on the camera angle. But yeah, we'll go for a little tour, we'll go over the bridge, we'll have a look, we'll go see what the guests can't see, and we'll walk over, we'll see the Argentinosauruses. And it's a really good height actually, because they're almost like head height, which again, they could probably lean over and eat you, but we'll just pretend that doesn't happen. But yeah, I'll catch you in a minute guys, and I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you very soon. See ya, bye. Hello again. So we're going a little tour now, and just to give you a recap, if you saw the last episode, we was over here where we built this really bright orange, orangish kind of water ponds with a statue in there, big giant golden Tyrannosaurus Rex, little plant pot here and a walkway. Come through here. There's the entrance. Again, I've still got to redo this. This is absolute chaos. It just looks like a really plainish. And yeah, we have the iguanodons over here, but let's focus over here. So let's smidge down here. So as we come through, we have this is where the staff go. Again, it's closed off at the moment. There's no, I will maybe when I get time off work, I will make a custom gate so it looks like you can go in and out, and here as well I'd remove this, but just for a rough idea, you come down here. If we go down here first, actually, I'll show you what it's like. Got some major lag as well at the moment. When you place down like 5,000 trees, like lag is your best friend. It just completely slows everything down. We come down here, and this is where the staff buildings are, where you got like research bits and bobs. These are just the basic buildings that I kind of closed all the windows. You can see some shirts in there, but we'll pretend that's uniform when you get changed or something. And through here is the door where you go through, and that will take you across through the tunnel over here, out the other side, which I did flatten the ground as well, so you can come across. Lots of dirt here, and you come through, and you can run in there, feed the Argentinosauruses, and run for your life back out again. So let's come back over the water through here. La la la. You can see the lag. And now we should be able to see some of the guests kind of walking up. So yeah, you can see them walking up as we come up along here. And again, this is what I had to replace and remove the floor because it was kind of just causing problems. So we come up here. I don't know how far they're going to go. Let's have a look. Oh, okay, turning back. It's a good sign. Not. And then, yeah. Oh, wow, look at the floor. So this is placing the floor as well. So because of the way in the angle I was using was, again, a custom angle, placing it was really difficult. From that angle, though, it looks fine. Oh, hello. We've got some movement here. No, you can just kind of see a bit of floating. They haven't transversed across yet, but we'll wait and see. We'll come back in a minute and have a look. So as you come through, you've got it along here. So you've got these majestic kind of structures on the side, almost like more of a design than any type of support. You come up, there you go. Look at that. Magic. Completely vanished. So yeah, and again, there we go. And my tree's gone. My tree is gone, and the plants. Why is that gone? But yes, we have some little trees here as well. I saw an image on Pinterest where it had like these floating platforms, and they had loads of foliage and stuff on top, and I thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, you come across here. You can walk here onto this platform. You can see outside, and you can see I think it's just the right height, just enough to see over. And you can see both sides over here. You're like looking at trees. It's a great view. And then over here as well, tree spotting, there you go. But you've got a little pond over there. I don't think they can access it, to be honest. Loads of stuff going on, but little pond over here and get some water if they ever make their way through. And oh, look at this. Yeah, look. So, oh, and the lights are on. Beautiful. So I think, yeah, it's kind of a nice, I really do hope the guests can find their way, and I will try and work it out. But you get a really, really lovely view and close. It's a bit like when you go on a safari drive and the animals stick their head in your window, except that this is a little bit more dangerous. And so we'll go along here. And yeah, you can see too here. So we'll come down here. Look at that back. Amazing. I think it's a pretty decent view. Looking round. How you doing, pal? Well, okay. So we'll go up here on the last platform. Just along here. And we'll come down. There we go. And again, there's the view. Not too bad or anything. Nice little... It's getting nice and dark, actually. It's pretty cool. So yeah, you can see, get pretty close to them, which is again what I like with the guests. They'll either be literally inside of the habitat. It's nice to view them from a wall and from the side, which is great, but I feel like if you can go inside and like get as close as you can to them within reason, then I think that as the experience for a guest, or if you had a dinosaur park, it would be, you know, up there with what you'd really want is to be close. A bit like the gyrospheres that you see in the movies and that, where, you know, they can get almost next to them. So we'll come back around. See, it's getting night time now, and we'll just zoom out a little bit so you can see some of the lights. Didn't overdo it this time, just put along here. I didn't want to use the white again. The white's very, very strong, so I just used a very light blue, almost like a I've forgotten the word now. Doesn't matter, let's forget it. But yeah, I was using that, and it just kind of gives a little bit more of a better effect, I think, than the white. So we've got the beams here as well. I used a large shape, and I kind of like the way they kind of curved a little bit, so they weren't completely straight. It gives it a bit of a unique kind of volume to it, I think, as if it's kind of like balancing on the weight's more transferred to the middle, and then it spreads out. But we'll come along up here. Overall, I think, again, I can't place too much foliage along here because the collision with the dinosaurs just seems to mess up. And again, I think because of this block here that you see, this large one, it's in fact acting probably about as big as this, and it's enough for the Argentinosaurus not to get through. But little Mr. Maverick here is going to walk straight through and completely jeopardize what I'm saying. But yeah, so I had to kind of flatten a lot of the ground as well. I did that off camera. It was a lot more uneven, but I had to flatten it so they could transverse. They seem to be quite finicky with where they can walk, whereas some other dinosaurs will walk literally anywhere they want to. So yeah, that's it kind of guys, that's it overall. I might add some lights inside as well, like I did with the last habitat I done. But at the moment it's kind of along here. We've got the lights, a nice little neon light on the side there as well. And absolutely zero guests. Clearly don't like the Argentinosauruses. We have some pink lights here as well. Again, I was actually meant to go for more of like a reddish colour, but I don't think it's too bad. It's not too bad, I don't think. Yeah, so that's kind of it, guys. There's the older Acrocanthosaurus over there. And over here as well. So, yeah, also another little thing I just want to drop off as well and I'll tell you guys about is that me and Mrs. T-Rex will be starting a new park together. And we're going to go on a set theme that I think that you should like and, well, I'm hoping you like. And yeah, we should be dropping that, I'm hoping, in a couple of weeks' time. So, thank you for sticking by, guys, and thank you for watching, and I'll catch you very, very soon. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.